Hello! Please ignore these bruises. I fell down the other day. My backdrop is a little bit messy, but that's not the whole point. I recorded this video. Wait, let me adjust this. Right now, I just don't look very presentable, and yeah, I couldn't really be bothered. Right now, if you can tell, my face is really swollen because I'm not gonna lie, I literally relapsed pretty bad this entire week. I binge purge and I even have flares like panic attack, all of that really unpleasant feeling. So I kind of want to hole up and just not go anywhere and stay in my room, not talk to anyone. I just want to avoid everything, all responsibilities and people all at once because I just don't feel like it. I really want to give up on everything that I had been striving for. I just feel like there's no point because no matter how hard I try, I always fall back to square one. But as much as I want to escape from everything and keep binging and purging and not do anything, it kind of hit me that I'm so tired of repeating the cycle, like restarting everything that I do over and over and over again, like trying to lose weight from square one all the time and trying to make new friends from square one all the time, having friendship breakups just because I am so out of the loop. I don't want to be entertaining anyone. I'm so tired of all of that. So I decided to give myself a chance to be more vulnerable and remind myself that it's okay to not be okay. The fact that I want to show up is already a really, really good thing that I'm doing for myself. Well, to be honest, I understand that some days I really need a break from everything. I just physically couldn't get up from my bed. I just feel so depressed, and I know that some people might argue that it's because I'm too privileged, that I have the privilege to not do anything, to escape from responsibilities or reality because I have cushion to fall back on, first world issues, even though I'm not living in a first world country. But everyone at every level has their own issues, right? If you're poor, you have poor people issues. If you're like average, you have average people issues. If you're rich, you have wealthy people issues. Everyone has sufferings at different stages of their lives. So I don't think it's fair to be comparing because as humans, all of us do suffer, and I am not here to make myself sound like, oh, I have this really traumatic life experience and whatnot. Like, not really. It has nothing to do with what I'm currently feeling right now. I just feel like a failure, to be honest, right? So I allow myself to feel, like sit with the pain, and I just observe myself from a third person's perspective. I pull myself out of myself. So that sounds kind of weird, but I literally just allow myself to binge, purge, and self-destruct while I observe all of my actions. Even though part of myself felt like, man, this is horrible, I really need to stop this, or I kind of feel sorry for myself, but I don't actually stop myself. I just observe and not judge, not put any good or bad labels. I feel so guilty for the amount of money that I spent on food, but I kept reminding myself that I'm not going to judge myself this time, and I'm just going to observe, as horrible as it is, as destructive as it is. I eventually reached to this point where I feel like, you know what, it's really okay. There's no such thing as smooth sailing in life. This might be part of my struggle and part of my challenge, part of what I have to learn, because I had been suffering from bulimia for as long as I can remember, since I was a young teen. So it kind of destroyed my teeth, my health. I felt really super not confident. Sometimes I just feel like I'm so unlovable. I don't deserve any proper loving partner. And that is also the reason why I had been attracting really, really toxic people in my life, because I don't actually respect myself in the past. So now that I can see all of that, I kind of built a wall around myself. I feel like I couldn't trust people anymore, and it ended up backfiring because I couldn't trust people. I kind of hated men at one point. No, not even men, like I kind of hated people in general, right? I literally pushed away all of my friends. But I came to this realization that, you know what, I have flaws and it's okay. Everyone has flaws. Everyone are going through their own issues. And just because I have some hiccups in life, just because I gain a little bit weight, doesn't mean I have to give up everything, Life is not black and white. Sometimes there are grays, sometimes there are ups and downs, and I cannot beat myself up just because I happen to see something that goes against my will, right? I cannot control everything, but sometimes if I can value myself a little bit more and see myself with a little bit more compassion and understand why I do certain things without judging, that will be so much more helpful than simply feeling guilty, beating myself up, and avoiding being around people at all costs. Because I genuinely believe that as humans, we need connection. It's really detrimental to fully isolate yourself completely. I know that sometimes we need to pull ourselves away from people to reflect upon ourselves, but to do that for a super long time, which is what I did, can definitely destroy you mentally. You know, you kind of end up in a very slow suicide mode. I don't think that's healthy. So I decided to take myself out, and I decided that at least, you know, by going to the gym, I'm surrounded by people. I don't have to, you know, I don't have to care too much about what other people are doing. I just have to show up and do my part. You know, I don't have to perform well, whatever. I just have to remind myself that it's okay, because sometimes life is just hard, you know. Sometimes I'm just gonna mess up, and that's really, really okay. You know, I fully accept my current state. My hair is such a mess, but yeah. And also, I know that coffee is really bad for anxiety. Sugar is really bad too. But like I say, at this moment, I really want to just stop being so critical about every decision that I make. I'm so decision fatigue sometimes. I feel like I'm so strict with myself. The other day I just had an argument with my dad because he told me that I am too obsessive about every single thing that I do in my life. He just pointed out that I am a little bit too extreme. I know that I have OCD symptoms. I have tendencies of OCD since I was a child. I tend to be extremely germophobic when I was a child, and I eventually kind of grow out of it. I don't know how, but eventually that developed into strict eating habits. I kind of developed like a borderline anorexia, and eventually it became bulimia until today. And so I have really, really weird lifestyle. I couldn't really blend in with normal people because I just have really weird habits, right? And that really annoyed me, you know, when my dad pointed that out. It's something that I already know, but when someone pointed it out, I obviously just don't feel like it. So I ended up lashing out at him, and he was really upset. Just thinking about it makes me really sad. And that wasn't the end of it. When I'm home, I lash out at my brother for no reason. And my brother had always been really nice to me, but I was just pissed when I see his face. I just felt like, man, I'm just mad. Yeah, now I'm laughing at it, but it's really hard, to be honest. I think it's because I had been bottling up all of my emotions. I don't allow myself to cry sometimes. I just feel like I need to be strong all the time. I don't allow myself to want what I want because I feel like I'm not worthy of it sometimes. So sometimes I want to go on a vacation. I don't allow myself to do it. I want to buy nice clothes. I don't allow myself to do it because I feel like it's a waste of money, and I have to invest my money because I'm gonna grow old alone eventually, yada yada. I have a lot of weird thoughts in my head, but eventually those money are spent on binging are spent on food. Man, the amount of money that I spend on food is just horrible. So either way, if it's meant to go, it's meant to go. So might as well use it on something that will benefit you, right? When it comes to having too much of self-control, sometimes it's just not what's meant for us. Some people can be very disciplined with their lives, but they might be destructive on other terms, right? When I try so hard, it's going to backfire. So it's something that I'm still trying to learn. I'm super aware of that since a while ago, but having to put it into practice is really, really hard. Hence, this is the reason why I made this video, because I want to remind myself and anyone that's watching this that we don't have to be perfect all the time, right? Sometimes we are so influenced by what we see on social media. Like, seems like everyone is having the best time of their lives. You know, young influencers, young actresses, models, K-pop idols, whatever. They're living their best lives. They're so beautiful. They seem like they have everything that we could ever dream of, but we don't actually know what they're going through behind closed doors, right? Everyone has struggles. So it's really important to sometimes just observe things at as it is, instead of trying to label ourselves as bad or good or whatever. Not everyone can be fully in control all the time, and that's really okay. As cliche as it sounds, it's really okay to not be okay. It's okay to sit with the pain. You know, sometimes we make stupid decisions, but life still goes on, right? I felt like ending my own life. You know, I haven't felt that way in a very long time, but I felt it out a few days ago when I fell down at the roadside. That is why I got bruises. You know, I just felt so embarrassed, and no one actually helped me up because it's in a city. Like, people don't usually care about each other, and there wasn't really that many people around me, to be honest. And it's in the middle of the road, but no one was helping me. So I was like, oh my god, I feel so embarrassed. I don't know why. I came up with really stupid narratives like, oh my god, it's because I'm fat, that's why nobody is helping me. Nobody's gonna help a fat person. I know that I'm by no means slim, but I'm definitely not like huge, right? And even if I see a huge person falling down, I'm going to help them up. So I don't actually know why do I even come up with that narrative for myself. I feel like it's stupid, but that's just how people with body dysmorphia thinks. It's just stupid. Everything has to relate with your weight. Sometimes, even though I'm a person who's really content on being single, I sometimes do want affection and friendships and close people to be around me, people that I can share my like everything, share my happiness, share my love, share my affection with, share my issues, everything, right? But I feel like I don't really have anyone in my life other than myself. And I think it's really important for you to love yourself, but as humans, like I say, we're all social creatures, right? You cannot isolate yourself forever. So not having any community at all makes me feel really down. I just feel like, man, every time my family brings up that there's something wrong with me, that's why I have no friends, I just feel like, yeah, maybe they're right. Maybe they're right. You know, maybe I am just horrible. I'm just a horrible person. Like, nobody wants to be my friend. And it's no wonder I never had any respectful, well, that's not true. I do had respectful partners in the past, but what I'm saying is I don't have people who genuinely see me for who I am. So yeah, I just felt really, really upset. I just felt like, yeah, maybe I'm not deserving of love at all. So I literally beat myself up. I beat myself up physically and with food, with purging, all of that. You know, I cried. I ended up distracting myself by reading novels, which is helpful, but eventually I still spiraled downward. I literally had allergic flares because of all of this panic attack and whatnot. I don't even know who's watching this video, but if you're watching this, understand that everyone goes through hardships, right? And I'm currently in the middle of it. I understand that it's not easy, but eventually life still goes on. So as long as we're living, you know, time is constantly running. Either way, you know, you cannot turn back time. Things that happen. Sometimes we literally couldn't control how we make use of our time, but as long as we are here, it's okay. You know, it's okay to mess up, because life cannot be explained. Sometimes we just have to go through things, and eventually when we look back, things will make sense. Yeah, we do have regrets. We regret our decisions, but eventually life still goes on. You know, everyone dies. And the new will always replace the old. So beating ourselves up furthermore is not going to improve anything. We have to eventually understand that it's just part of life. There's ups and downs, and sometimes it's going to be really hard. You know, I think this is the best way to fully accept ourselves and to see our emotions and to make use of our emotions to serve us in order to improve our lives towards the direction that we want. Sometimes we don't even know what we want anymore, right? But that's not true. We always know what we want. It's just that we don't actually allow ourselves to fully acknowledge it, to the point that we kind of lie to ourselves that we don't know what we want anymore. So yeah, I think that's it for me for today. I really have to rush to the gym right now. It's kind of late. So I'll see you in my next video. I really hope that this video is not too depressing, because I understand that everyone goes through hardships in life. Like, look at me now. Look at me. Look at this messy hair, like, oh my god. But either way, it's gonna be messy because I'm going to like be flipping around in the yoga class. Yeah, so I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for your time, and if you have anything that you want to share with me, feel free to leave them at the comment section down below. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.